In this first Rooted and Rising video, I sit down with Shannon, a breathwork coach who helps people unlock of healings and clarity through a simple yet powerful act of breathing. Her stories and journeys will inspire us to pause, breathe deeply, and reconnect our true self.
Place your hands on your thighs and just focus on your breath, taking long, slow inhales through your nose as deep as you can into your belly, and then just exhaling out the mouth, letting it go. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and just noticing if you feel any tension or energy in your body that you can just breathe out, wiggle out, shake out, and bring yourself right here, right now in the present moment. Gently blink your eyes open, bring some movement back into the body.
Oh, I love it.
So breathwork really became an intuitive journey for me. I had known of it. I had seen other people on the internet talking about it. And I remember trying a Wim Hof video on YouTube and was like, this is the most intense, crazy thing I've ever experienced. I don't know what people are doing here. But eventually it just wouldn't go away. It was every time I would go walk my dog, really, that I would hear breathwork, breathwork, breathwork. And I had done a couple sessions and they were really intense, and I know that I was avoiding it because of that. And so eventually I just said, okay, I hear you. I'm going to listen and explore deeper into this and see what's available for me. And it was very intense for me because I was somebody that would try to mask or hide my emotions. I never wanted anybody to know how I felt. I had ended up in a relationship that kind of tore me down, and I just lost a lot of myself. And so diving into that practice allowed me to reconnect to myself. It allowed me to process all the things that I had held on to and shoved down. And it made me realize a lot about my life and my journey and why I was the way I was, that then created that dynamic, and why I ended up in that relationship. And it helped me bring so much awareness and healing to all of that, that shifted my relationship with myself, that then shifted the relationships that I have with others.
That is so beautiful. I can resonate with that because I remember my first time going to your breathwork class. Just your presence and that calm energy that you brought to the class. And when you were playing the music that were deeply grounded us, and just to follow your breathwork technique that you were sharing with us, it was so empowering and powerful. That moment I always gonna remember vividly, and it's almost like a replay of a movie of my life when I was, since I remember, from the childhood till today. It was almost like a replay of the movie, and I was so shocked in a good way, like how powerful just to be in that state of meditative state through the power of breathing.
Yeah. Yep.
That's beautiful.
It's a very powerful tool.
And for someone who is watching that who never experienced breath work, how would you describe its impact to people's body, mind, emotions? And what changes have you seen in yourself and or other clients that through this practice?
So first question was what they'll experience in their body, in their mind. So physically, it can be very intense, as I said in my answer. The intensity is because it becomes very tense in the body, buzzing, tingling, you can get cramping. Specifically, that happens mostly in your hands. A lot of first timers will experience it in their hands, but it can happen anywhere in the body, and it's known to be trapped energy, which is why it was so intense for me, because I was just shoving everything down, so it all needed to come out. And so that was what that was available for, was to just let it out and let myself be clearer from it. So then what I noticed in my own experience from that was, one, again, a lot of awarenesses of like connecting the dots of the things that happened earlier in my life that were like impacting my present life and not in a positive way, and being able to sort through.
I remember that tingling feeling when I was in that class and doing the breath work, because I remember you were asking, at the end of the class, we're asking, does anyone feel the tingling feeling on your fingers? And I'm like, I did. And there was another participants that who also raised their hands, and I'm just curious, how that even happened. But that is so crazy it actually happened. It probably has something to do with our physiology, psychology, and all of that combination of through the breathing that kind of brought us being present, but also connecting all of what we're trying to untangle through all the years of our life journey.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about, if you have an emotion that arises and you hold it down, you resist it,
Covered it.
where's it going to go?
Correct.
If you look at animals, whether in the wild or in your home, if after like a dog goes through, I don't know, an attack or something that has high energy, they'll shake.
Yeah, fight and flight.
Yeah, so they go into that fight or flight, which we also have, right? But we don't have a natural reset. We don't naturally shake off.
Right.
We can if we choose to or do practices systematically.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just stored in the body, and over time, I mean, I believe that leads to physical pain, which can lead to disease, which can lead to just declining health.
All the chronic.
Yeah. I mean, most chronic and autoimmune is due to a lack of processing emotions. That's why a lot of women experience that in their lives, and it's very under studied. But it's being studied more now, which is great. But being able to work somatically, society tells us not to feel, and that's the craziest thing, because it's like it's our superpower, and actually it's our guide through our lives. That's how we can navigate some.
Ever since then, I always remind myself that relax or take a breath. And the funny thing is, I realized before I have to intentionally remind myself to do that, I didn't realize how tense my shoulder is. And when I tell myself relax, and I relax my shoulder, I did not realize my posture was like all tight. And the moment you start doing that, just bring you back to present.
100%.
I love it.
I always say this, like, just pausing and taking a couple deep breaths throughout the day can change the trajectory of your day. It can change the trajectory of your life, because it's exactly that, where you build up till you don't even realize you're like this. And think about if you walk up to somebody like this and you're going to say something, do you think they're going to be calm, or they're going to be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of energy are we actually exchanging with each other? When we're more calm, grounded, you approach somebody and
where you are teaching me to do that breath work practice before we started this podcast.
Do that with every podcast, because it helps you connect with each other and yourselves.
So that really helps to bring to the next point, where I wanted to ask for practical guidance for busy parents or individual who, when they felt overwhelmed, what is one simple breath work technique or daily practice that helped them feel grounded and centered?
Box breathing or doubling your exhale are going to be
What is box breathing?
So box breathing is you're going to inhale. We'll go for a count of 4. So inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. So if you think about it, you go inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So that's why it's called a box, because it's even as you go in, hold, out, hold. That will ground you. That will bring you into presence. If you're feeling highly activated, you get into that fight or flight, anxious, overwhelmed. That's why doubling the exhale, or if you can't sleep at night, if you take an inhale for 4, exhale for 8. So inhale 4, exhale for 8. Inhale for 4, exhale for 8. And if you think about it, if you get scared or stressed, you inhale and hold.
Right.
And when you relax, or everyone goes, take a deep breath, you go, when the sigh of relief, like we speak into this all the time. It's just we don't actually use the practice, in day-to-day life. I know we're going to be talking about parenting a bit. I'm like, this should be taught in preschool and kindergarten. These are the things we should be learning in school, in my opinion.
So true.
So that we actually know how to stay present with ourselves.
That's why we're having you here today to share. And this is such a powerful tool. It's not just for this moment or adult. Actually, I think this is such a powerful tool just throughout the lifetime.
Absolutely.
Everything has to do with how we manage our emotion, how we regulate our emotion, how we manage our stress. Because in life, stress, trauma, limited beliefs, or any sort of a negativity, it's inevitable emotion that they are fleeting. They comes and goes. And how to learn through scientific tools of breathing, or what we think is the most fundamental technique, but oftentimes they got forgotten. They got ignored.
It's interesting because you take your first breath, that's your life, until your last breath.
So true.
And then, there's this quote, and then we ignore everything in between.
You know what that reminds me of? That this really amazing quote from Guru is that the essence of life, essentially, what is life? Life is breathing. Without breathing, there's no life. And yet, we're chasing everything else in life other than that.
Exactly.
And I think this is so fundamental, but it's so critical.
And I'm like, we want to wait for the train.
It's okay. And then rooted and rising, the heart of this mission statement. It's about stay grounded for who we are and continue to grow and rise. And how do you feel about this phrase that connects to you personally? And what do you think of breath work connect to that journey or helps with this journey.
Yeah. I love that, by the way, because I think it's a beautiful metaphor. I think about like trees that are really rooted down into the earth, and then you think they grow tall and they can like sway in the wind. And I'm looking at all the trees around us, because then there's like that freedom to just at the top be free flowing when you're actually very grounded. And how that can translate into like our human experience is we, like you said, all have trauma. We don't get out of here unscathed. Like we all have experiences, to varying degrees, but we either have the choice to allow them to shape who we are and play that out and make that the reality, that the world is whatever the narrative is, a dark, scary place that doesn't love me back, so I'm going to be angry and miserable. Or you can do the work of realizing that when you came into this world as a baby and took your first breath, none of that existed until things happened that shaped your perception. And if you can actually realize that that's just your perception but not the truth of who you are and what life is, then you can be a lot more free to continue to move about and to grow and become exactly who you want to be. But otherwise, like those things are going to come up and get in the way. That's also inevitable. But you can utilize this as a tool to bring awareness to it, to breathe through the fear and the resistance, because our nervous systems will feel like, nope, that's scary. That feels like death. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. But when you can be like, okay, actually it's not, and I can breathe through it, and I can take a tolerable step to show my nervous system that I'm not in real danger. Yes. So I can expand my capacity so that I can continue to take steps towards what I know I'm capable of. If I didn't have these things that were trying to keep us safe, like our nervous system's job is to keep us safe, and so it's doing what it's meant to do. Yep. It's just we aren't really living in the same world that we adapted into, because we've exceeded technology so fast that we're not like cavemen living in the villages anymore, right? So as time evolves, right? So we just have to take the time and utilize the power of our own resource to do that work for ourselves, so that we can continue to advance as well as the world is around us.
It's beautifully said. Like you mentioned, when you think about a tree, it's so resilient, because the tree, they survive through the storm, they survive through the sunshine. I mean, sunshine's not survive, but it's nourishing it. But that they stay strong regardless of what kind of weather that comes to them, and they bend themselves and they ride the waves, and it's because they have such a strong and solid rooted in the ground. And I think that is so beautifully said, and connecting to our modern world today with the development of rapid advancement in technology, and human beings are losing that connection ever even more, I think, in the era of the entire human evolution. I
think we're too disconnected from nature.
Yeah.
I think the more we're connected to nature, the more we can hear whatever I mean, however you receive information. I don't want to say it's all hearing. I hear, that's my like clairaudience. Yeah. But when we are out in nature and don't have so much information buzzing, like all the stuff around us, like the power lines and all the things like that are just interfering in ways that we don't recognize anymore, because again we're detached, we've adapted, we're adaptable beings, right? That we lose that connection, but that's the connection that got us here. So we have all the technology in the world, great, we have the phones, we have the Bluetooth, we have the things, but we are the original technology. We have the beam me up to receive whatever it is that is going to be the answer. And it may not be the answer to everything in the world, but it's going to be the answer for you for the next thing that you maybe are here to do. But if we keep, like you said, chasing or run, where it's like our survival is like hustle culture, it's like you don't even know who you are anymore. And then like a lot of stories we have about people who it's like, I got it all wrong. At the end of my life, I should have spent more time with the people I love, or doing things like this, instead of just focusing on trying to make as much money or be a notable human being in the world. And if we are clear on like what our purpose is, we don't lose that and then find out when we're on our deathbed.
Yes, that so beautifully said. That is the ability to discern what truly matters in each person's life. I mean, we all have different purpose and different meanings to how we want to add to our lives. And I think that through breathwork is a wonderful tool that will guide us to find that deeper clarities in what each of us need in our unique journey.
Absolutely.
So Shannon, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and journeys with us today. Your passion in helping others reconnect themselves is so inspiring, and I know many people who are listening can take away from this conversation and have a new sense of curiosity and hope. And for anyone who's watching, just remember that sometimes a simple act such as a conscious breath can be the first step to healing and bring that clarity and rising to your fullest potential. Thanks, everyone.